Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GL365 Ooh, I've got a banger today. We're looking at how to do Kashmir by the great Led Zeppelin. Now, I have done a Kashmir video before, many eons ago, and somebody recently brought it to my attention that I did not teach the full song in it. And it was just one of my era when I would just do a riff or two of a song I just did that quickly for whatever. But usually I do full songs, and I was not aware that I had not taught Kashmir in complete. So we're gonna fix that today, and we're gonna do the whole song. Not very complicated song. Obviously it's pretty long, but it's very repetitive. And there's some really, really cool stuff and obviously really cool riffs. The one thing about it is it's in DADGAD tuning. So if you don't know what that is, you're gonna take, if you have a standard tuned guitar, you're gonna take the low E string and tune it down from an E to a D. Then you have the A string will be like a normal standard tuned guitar, and the D string, still keep that normal. And for the G string, keep that normal. But we have these top two strings here. The B string is tuned down to A, so down a whole step to A, and then the high E string is tuned down a whole step to D. Now, that spells DADGAD, D-A-D-G-A-D. So anyway, that's the tuning that Jimmy chose for this song, and that's what's gonna create these really cool riffs. And so you're gonna play maybe some chords types that you're not used to, because it's in a completely different tuning than you're probably used to. All right, now before I get into this, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell, all that stuff. Watch the videos, that helps you. Engaging with the videos and watching them is what's gonna make YouTube send you out any notifications when I actually put up a new video. So hopefully you can do that, and like and comment and all that good stuff. Now, the most important thing is if you really wanna help me here on YouTube and keep these lessons coming and get something out of it in addition, join my Guitar Academy. You're gonna see a link at that in the description. Give you a free 7-day trial. My Guitar Academy gives you full access to all of my courses, plus weekly live streams with me, so you can ask me questions in real time. So it's a very fun community we have over there. There's a lot of cool courses, from courses for complete beginners to more advanced courses in technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone, you name it. So please go check it out. Free 7-day trial right below. All right, let's jump into the song. So we're in our DADGAD tuning here, and we're gonna start with this main riff. So the first time you hear a hit, the riff, the actual riff itself has this. That little thing, that little octave that's played up here, but the first time you hear it come in, it's actually played down here. So it's gonna be played the second fret there on the G string. Now I'm gonna call, by the way, I'm gonna call the strings names, like title them as if it's in standard tuning. So I'm not gonna confuse it here. We know we're in DADGAD, but I'm just gonna still call this the E string and B string and all that stuff. So we're gonna play the second fret there on the G, open D, and then the 5th fret there on the A string. So you're just gonna hit that, just kind of a quick 3-hit. And then you start the actual build-up riff. So now he's gonna hit these open string, that open string in between, whenever he's moving to a new chord in between it. So at that first hit, we weren't. So it's kind of like that. So it's a kind of standalone here, and then we have the actual riff starts. So what's happening in this riff is just that it's just climbing up on, mostly chromatically, on the G string. So it's gonna be played, so look at the chord first. Play like that, and then just move the note up on the G string up to the 3rd fret, keeping everything else the same, and then same thing here. And the same thing here. And culminating from here, we're gonna jump to the octave. So the 7th fret there on the G, we skipped a 6. So now it starts with a quick hit, and then we get into the riff. We're gonna do this. So that's a down, up, down. Then he hits an upstroke on the low string, so it's a low D string, I know, but And then you're gonna go to that next chord with the melody note at the 3rd fret. So that's the pattern. So he's gonna keep doing that. So he's gonna strum those 3s again. Open. And then 3 hits there with the melody note of the 4. So it is. So the open string hit comes in between changing. So not like. So then we get to that final one and start over. All right, from there we go to this riff I kind of call the transition riff. I call lots of riffs transition riffs because it's just not an easy name to it. Call it, looks like this. Now, so that part right there, so you can hear the like the open D and A under it as well. So it really doesn't matter if you're strumming all 6 strings, but it's really kind of focused on these top strings. So we're gonna start here. It's gonna be the same thing, just kind of repeated at different frets. So it's the 12th fret on the high E, and then the 12th fret there on the G. So we're gonna basically move the note on the G string down to 11, to the 11th fret, so 1 fret. So it's, and we're gonna do that on a series of different frets. We're gonna do that here now, starting at the 10th, and then down to 7, and then down to 5, and 3. Just a quick 3-2-0 on the D string. And repeat. So it goes back to the main riff from there, but since where they pick up the main riff is where it's at the 3rd fret and the melody note on the 3rd fret. So it's like. Then they'll go back to the verse from there. So just make sure when you're leaving, you don't want to start off from the beginning of the riff to the 2nd fret there. So start with the 3rd fret. All right, so then we get to the, I guess the 2nd verse of that main riff, and he adds kind of an overdub that he does play live as well too. He did play live. It kind of matches the string line, the string section. So it looks like this. To that transition thing. All right, so all that is up here. So it's kind of like you're doing the riff, but when you get to the 5th fret. So that's, everything does low D string every single time, but the note, the melody is happening on the A string. So it's gonna go 12, 11, 12, 14, 12, 11, back back to 12. And then take the melody note into there, hold that note at the 9th fret there. So you're gonna hit the low D string every single time as well. Then pick out the riff. And then jump up, sorry. All right, so then we get to that same little not that. Anyway, so it goes back into this, through the transition section, into the main riff, back into the transition riff. And then it does this quick little fill. It goes at the end there, kind of take us into what I call bridge number 1, which is going to be open A, 0-2 on the A string, open D, and then we have bridge number 1 from there. So it So you kind of get the point there. It kind of repeats that. So that little riff kind of leads us in to that section. And it's just an A power chord, kind of muted. So open A string, 2nd fret there on the D. And then the next one, kind of the Chuck Berry thing, open A in the 4th fret on the D, and then back down to the regular A power chord. And he comes up here. Now, when you see him play it live, he doesn't kind of grab the. There's a bigger chord that's hit there. But like an A chord. But he really kind of just takes the bottom, that note on the 7th fret on the D, and slides it down. But you can hear on the recording, there's actually really prominently on the guitar as well, this 6th fret there on the G. So kind of go. And kind of slide that down to the open A. So this. And then here. So the second, after you play the riff 2 times there, it has that little fill at the end, which is just 3-2-0 on the D, and then 0-2 on the A to the open D. Little 6-note lick, and then start over. So just kind of keep repeating it like that, and then it goes into the transition section again. Now, out of that transition section, it gets to a very, very cool section, which I call Bridge 2. It's really just based around 2 chords. This and this. Now the string section starts going nuts in this section, so you hear all these lines moving around, and Robert Plant's really doing some really cool vocal work here. But really, for that most of that section until the end of the song, Jimmy's just holding those 2 chords underneath it all. So it ends up being this, with this tuning played up here like this, is a G power chord, A power chord. So this G power chord, very simple. You can just play he would play it like this. You can see him like playing it back then, which is he's describing the low note with his thumb of the 5th fret on the low E string, and then he's borrowing the top 2 strings, across the B and the high E, and he's muting the A string. So he can just do that. He has the open D, open G there. But for chords like that, I like to it's easier to kind of keep that muting going by just kind of playing it like a G chord. So I have this 5th fret on the low E, but I'm muting the A string with the bottom of that finger, so it's kind of easier to do. Then the open D, open G, and then the 5th fret across the B. From there it goes to an A power chord. So this open A string, the 2nd fret there on the D and the G. So from there, bridge 2, it goes back to the main riff again. You can add that too as well. All right, so like I said, you can add that part if you want, but he does it live there. Kind of pushes the song along. Then it just goes through the same transition riff again, the same main riff, the same transition riff again. And then we get to the ending section of the song. Now this is where you hear an overdub come in. The orchestra's playing it. It's also being done on guitar. And live will also go into what would be a harmony line on top of that line, but you don't really hear that harmony line very much on the original recording. It's pretty much you hear the same 2 chords that were used in the bridge, number 2. You just hear that, and you hear this lower, he'll play this live, and then like I said, he goes into a higher harmony part of that, but I think only live. I can't hear this higher harmony part in the actual recording, but I can hear the lower one, and it looks like this. So it's basically that repeated. Like I said, he does a harmony line in it, like. But he only does that live. But I'm really interested in showing the one that's on the recording. So this is going to be going on over that section. So the 5th fret on the low E, then play open A, 1, so 0, 1, 3. Then play the D string open, 2, 3, so 0, 2, 3 on the D. Then play 0, 2, 4, 6 on the G. So it is. Here, you're gonna go. That's gonna be 6, 7, 6, 4, 6. So that's about it. That kind of starts adding in. They just kind of do that all the way to the end of the track. And like I said, that's over this. To kind of close out the epic Kashmir. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a fun one. We could finally take a look at the whole thing. There's nothing very challenging in it. So it's just, when you put the guitar on that tuning, you can just create these really cool chord voicings that kind of give this song life, and how they kind of put it together is very interesting as well too. So they're very cool sounding riffs, but they're not very hard to play. So hopefully you guys will have a lot of fun with it. All right, I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.